Hello, I'm Brodie McCloy. I'm currently a third year medical student at Trinity College, and right now, this year I do history and philosophy of science. So it's been a while since I've done A-level physics, chemistry, all that sort of stuff. So we'll see how this interview goes. I'm going to be showing you the sort of how we're expecting the Zoom interviews to go. So from now on, if you're not having an interview in person, you'll be invited to a Zoom interview. And right now we're doing a natural science interview. Hello, good afternoon.
Right, nice to see you.
Yeah, you too, you too.
Thank you. I'm just going to transfer you to the waiting room where one of our students will look after you. So if you click the join breakout room button when it pops up.
Lovely, thank you.
Thank you.
Hiya, good afternoon.
Hi, I'm Mireille. I'm one of the student helpers for your interview today.
Oh, lovely to meet you. I'm Brodie.
Nice to meet you. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just want to make sure that you can hear and see me okay.
I can.
Great. And I just wanted to confirm that you're here for an interview in natural sciences.
Yes, I am.
Great. And it also says here that your interview requires a drawing tablet. Do you have that?
I
And do
do
you feel
indeed. Here we
that
go.
you?
You want to
Awesome.
set up?
Great. So you're going to be transferred to your interview in a few minutes once your interviewers are ready for you. So right now you can kind of just take a moment to take a deep breath, compose yourself, and just remember to have fun, to be yourself. And of course, if you have any questions for me before you're transferred, feel free to ask them. But yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon. Hiya.
Hello,
Hello.
Rodi. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for coming to this interview. I'm Alex. I'm a theoretical chemist here, and
And I'm Kate, and I work in material science.
Oh, lovely to meet you both. Thanks for having me.
Very nice to meet you.
great. So, over the course of the next half an hour or so, we'll just talk a little bit about some science, and we'll start with a bit of chemistry. So, I was wondering if you could maybe tell me a little bit about what you know about the about ionic bonding.
Okay, so an ionic bond is a bond formed between two ions. So an ion is a charged particle, and in an ionic bond there is a transfer of charge from one particle to the other, which enables them to be joined by a sort of electrostatic attraction.
Mhm.
That's the sort of bond that's formed.
Okay, good. Let me show you a crystalline structure. Hopefully, this will work. Can you see the whiteboard?
I can, yes, yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So this is a crystalline structure of an ionic compound. Have you ever seen pictures like this before?
Not exactly like this, I don't think. No.
Okay, you might have seen the structure of sodium chloride, but you might have drawn 3 dimensions. This is a projection of a crystalline structure into 2 dimensions.
So that's the bottom plane, and then we've got one that's coming up. And there's going to be more central if we're looking down at it. So trying to draw this in 3D.
So maybe we can think about if this is the bottom plane only, is there anything else that is in the bottom plane?
We've got two more of the fluorine atoms. that are
Yeah.
also on the bottom plane.
Where are they?
So those are there and there. 'Cause they're...
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, and then the same sort of thing happens again at the very top.
Yes.
And then there's only one thing we have to consider in the middle. So maybe we don't have to draw it in 3D. Maybe you can do it layer by layer. What's sort of the layer at 1/2? What does that look like?
The layer at 1/2 is going to be the central A with the 2 fluorine.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be like layered on top. So trying to draw that, I guess if we did go back to trying to draw it in 3D, it'd be more like a pyramid in terms of just the A ions, and then the addition of the...
Yeah, that's right.
So up here at the top we've got our waves of light. So each of these will represent one, each of the lines will represent like one part of the wavelength. So in my mind, I see them as being the peak amplitude. And we're reaching this, which is the barrier, and you can see the 2 slits which are left between here, and the light waves are going to be able to pass through these slits. So what will happen is that you'll get a shape sort of like this, because they'll be diffracted as they pass through. But then what happens is you get the waves will actually, obviously, as you get further away from the source, the waves are going to meet and sort of they'll show interference. Which is why on this screen we have this central, very like bright area, which represents the sort of high amplitude, lots of positive interference. So if I'd interpret that, if I could draw it into like a wavelength that would look kind of like, and then you've got, they're cancelling each other out in the black spaces, and then you've got a smaller amplitude wave here.
I guess this is all we have time for today.
Okay.
But so of course, if you have any questions for us, now would be a good time to ask.
I don't think so. So far, the admissions people have been really helpful.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brodie. I think you should hear back from the college sometime in January. So thank you very much for coming to see us, and take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
So there we go. That was my natural science interview. It was a bit of a refresher on physics and chemistry that I haven't done in a few years, so there we are. I hope that's a useful thing to give you a sort of idea of what to expect when you come for a Zoom interview. I know that the process can be quite daunting, especially if you don't really know what's going on, and especially given online technology and somehow how that goes a bit wrong. I think the main thing that I learned from doing that was that you can just take your time. If you feel like there is something going a little bit wrong, like I think there were a couple of hiccups where they couldn't see my mouse. I think it's quite good to remember that the interviewers are going to be really understanding of the difficulties that you might have with it being online, and that they're also perhaps not as familiar with this as they'd like to be. So I think it is just keep calm, and if there are any technical difficulties, the college will understand that and they won't affect the application and the outcome of your interview. I think as well, we're trying to making sure that you've got a good idea of how the interface works, so using the tablet a bit beforehand was quite useful to work out how that goes, and also really basic things like knowing the difference between what's your mouse and what's your drawing on Zoom. But otherwise, I think it was a good experience, and I hope that this is useful for you guys to kind of understand what sort of thing is expected from you. But best of luck for your applications, and honestly, don't be too nervous. You might be a bit nervous on the day, but at the end of the day, it is just a chat, and if you see it as a chat and just kind of doing your best, then that's the best way that you can get the most out of the experience. But best of luck. Thank you.